Sup nerds! Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm actually so excited for today's video. As you guys know by the title, we will be talking more about Kindle Unlimited. I know. At this point, I think this is the third Kindle Unlimited video I've done. But honestly, it's so I don't know, you guys love it, but I feel like for me, it's so informative to know because it's so hard. First of all, ebooks can be expensive, if you're buying them from Kindle Unlimited, but also it's hard because you pay for the subscription, so it's you want to get your money's worth out of it. And so I thought it would be fun today to kind of talk about my recommendations. So these are books that I kind of found on Kindle Unlimited, or I heard about, and then I was like, oh, let me read it on Kindle first, then decide if I want the paperback or not. And so it's kind of going to be like that. And so we do have some books here that are very popular that I'm sure a lot of people know, but I want to just kind of reiterate them and then let you guys know how I feel about them specifically. I thought it'd be super fun. A bunch of new books just decided to come on Kindle Unlimited, and so I will definitely be mentioning those as well because it surprised me. I was like, I know for a fact these were not here a few months ago because I looked for some of these specific books. So I don't know, maybe these are ones that will be new to you, or if you're just looking for some stuff to read on Kindle because you don't want to buy the book. To each their own. We'll talk about it. First, if you guys like talking about Kindle Unlimited, if you guys like recommendations, if you guys like all the nerdy things, then definitely give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's just get started. Very hot, to be honest, but it'll be fine. It's fine. That's why I could not sit in the chair today. I was like, oh no, I'm already sweating. It's fine. Let's just talk about some, I'm sure we all know that Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score is, of course, on Kindle Unlimited. If you do not know, I believe it looks like all of Lucy Score's books are on Kindle Unlimited, which I honestly appreciate because her books are huggy chunky. And so if you're ever interested in one of her books, I would check Kindle Unlimited first, especially if it's intimidating the size. Oh my gosh, definitely get it on Kindle Unlimited. I'm about to actually go look for a couple more because there's a couple books that I was looking for recommendations about, army, husbands, or I don't know, army romance, where if your husband goes to war, or you guys meet, I don't know, something like that. And I believe she has a series dedicated to kind of something similar like that. So I want to look on Kindle Unlimited because it just reminded me to look on Kindle Unlimited for that kind of recommendation. So if you need a little reminder, of course, obviously, Elsie Silver. This is Flawless from the Chestnut Spring series. Again, this also looks like all of her books are on Kindle Unlimited. This is another good one. It's a popular series, and I think these covers are so ugly. So if you do not want these covers, you can get the books on Kindle Unlimited. For me, I feel like if I don't have the physical copy, sometimes I won't read it on Kindle unless I'm it's just rarely will I be scrolling oh, let me see if there's a new Kindle book. Rarely, but sometimes it happens. So if you're ever if you don't want the physical copy or whatever, then we have, obviously, of course, Chestnut Springs. This one is a newfound freaking favorite, and I think I read the paperback. Maybe I listened to it. I can't remember, but this freaking book, this is Devney Perry's Indigo Ridge. I think quite a few of Devney Perry's, if not all of her books, are on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not too sure, though. Don't quote me on that. I know there's another sports romance series, though, that is on Kindle Unlimited that you best believe I have on my Kindle because I want to read it so bad. Anyway, though, Devney Perry came out of nowhere for me, and I just fell in love with this freaking book. I fell in love. I'm so excited to continue this series. I honestly only read this book, but that made me so happy that they're on Kindle because I do not need to buy the physical copies, although I probably will. But I don't know, that just makes me happier because I feel it's a little stingy when people are not on Kindle Unlimited. I'm can you just be nice to me for a few minutes and just put it on Kindle? So it made me love her. Devney? Yeah, I think this is a girl. Yes. Made me love her even more because it's on Kindle. Y'all, this is outrageous. I'm not even that hot. Then, of course, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I did just want to also remind her that Abby Jimenez, most of her books now are on Kindle Unlimited. So I believe right now it looks like the only one that's not on Kindle Unlimited is her newest book, and I think maybe one other book might not be, but I had bought the book, so it won't show me on my Kindle, but I believe most of them are on Kindle Unlimited, which I'm you go, girl, thank you, because there's so many people I know who would love, I feel like she would be a lot more, I don't know, that's a lie, though, because she's pretty popular, and I know so many people love her, and then they just buy their books because their covers are kind of cute. But I feel like my one friend, I want her to read Abby Jimenez, but she just got a Kindle, so I'm like, ugh. But now I'm like, good, you can read Abby Jimenez on your Kindle, so it's perfect. I don't know. Love that. And so I feel like a lot of more people can read and enjoy her books. I want to reread this series, this trio here, but yes, I love her books so much, you guys know. But that's just a little reminder. Also, a little reminder, all of Anna Huang's books are on Kindle Unlimited. That's what it seems like, all of them. I don't know how many, I think she has 3 series, and I believe I've saw at least one book from all of them that are on Kindle Unlimited. I know for a fact Twisted and the King of Sin series, they're all on Kindle Unlimited. But again, you just check it out. But just a little reminder, if you don't want these hunky chunky books or whatever, you already read them, or you just want them to, you want to reread them, but you don't want to carry the book, whatever it is, then definitely would recommend. I honestly, Twisted, what is this one? Twisted Lies. Twisted Lies is my favorite, and honestly, I don't know, it's hard with the King of Sin series, but I think I loved this 4th book, which is Sloane and, Javier, and I don't know, King of Sloth, so good, so definitely would recommend if you have not. This one is, I don't know if people, I feel like Sophie Lark definitely, has her audience, and, not a lot of people talk about her, but her books are so freaking good. So, Miss Sophie Lark, it looked like all of her books were on Kindle Unlimited. She's quite a few books. This entire series, it's the Brutal Birthright series, is on Kindle Unlimited. It's, one of my current favorite series. I'm eating it up. This book specifically, oh my gosh, so freaking good. So good. It's giving mafia romance meets cowboys, and enough said. I need more recommendations like this because this book is so good. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in this series, which is a decent series. It's not a super long book, but it is nice to kind of just read it on your Kindle so you don't need the books or whatever like that. So that's just another, again, reminder, because I'm sure you know, I've talked about this series, but not enough people talk about this series. So I will tell you, all of Catherine Amara's books are on Kindle Unlimited, y'all. All of them. The Windor series, which I love. She has a couple other series that I love. A lot of her series are connected. I mean, I think maybe there's one that I know. One series that has people on the cover, and I just don't, I'm not going to buy those covers because the people are ugly, and I don't like people on the cover, and so I don't want to say that people are ugly, that's so rude. I just mean people on the cover is ugly. So I don't read that series, but I know I think it's Off Campus. There's one series that's connected to this series, the Windor series. They all have overlapping, so it's one big world, and I love that for us. It's not, you don't have to read them all, but definitely so incredible. And so the final book is the final book is coming out for this series soon, and I could cry. I'm so excited for it. And yes, right now, I don't know. I think it's, I have to reread them. I just reread 2 of them, and those right now are in my head as my favorites, but I have to reread this one and see. But if you do not know, my girl is on Kindle Unlimited, and I know I've talked about her a lot, and so I know a couple of you have been like, yo, you talk about her so much, I have to read them. Kindle Unlimited, y'all. Kindle Unlimited. You don't need to buy the paperbacks. You don't. It is kind of hard to find her paperbacks as well, because they're not at Target and stuff. I think I've seen them at Barnes or smaller bookstores. It just depends on the book, to be honest. Because I think I saw them at the Ripped Bodice when I went, but it's I get mine off of Amazon, but not everyone wants to do that. I totally understand. So get them on Kindle. This is a new and recent read, but a little new and recent find, I should say. I think this is one of those ones where I was scrolling Instagram and someone was oh my gosh, this book, or popped in a quote, and I was oh my gosh, I need to add that to my Kindle instantly. This is This Hallowed Accord. It's This Hallowed Accord. It's This Nocturnal Requiem series by Raven Jean. I believe there's going to be 4 books in this series. Right now there's only 2 out. This series is honestly so good. I was looking, so it's not I don't know how to explain it. It's similar to vampires, because I believe he he has to feed or whatever. It's kind of like vampires, but it's also kind of like angels, and I don't want to say devils because they're not devils. They're just kind of it's supposed to be a play on light and dark, but the light, people who are in the light are bad people still, and then the people in the dark are good and bad, so it's not necessarily good versus evil, so it's not that kind of thing. It's hard to describe, but just trust me, it's so good. It's open door though. It's very spicy. A lot of these books are, I'm not gonna lie to you, just because that's what everyone's coming out with now. I'm so sorry. But if you don't like that, honestly, I don't know what you're gonna read, but Anyway, what the heck, I don't know what I was gonna say, but I'm enjoying the series, and so I'm in the middle of the second one. I don't know, I slowed down in this second one, but I think this book is so good. So I would just read the back and kind of see what you're feeling. And yes. This series I read actually a while ago, so it's hard to remember, but I know I freaking loved it. This is The Wolf King by Lauren Palferman, and I'm like so mad. I'm like, can you please hurry up and come out with the next book, because this book was so good. I have no idea what's gonna freaking happen, and so it really, like, I'm really scared because there's kind of like there's the main character, they're werewolves, which is nice, but like, which is interesting. I'm usually not a werewolf girly, but this one actually is like really good. And what the heck was I say? There's like whatever. There's one character who you really like. He's not bad at all. He's really nice. And he's just like really sweet. He's really cute. Says all the right things. Does all the right things. But then you get to meet another character. You meet another character who's like, he's kind of bad, but you kind of love it, and so I don't know if it's gonna turn into like whatever I don't know what it's gonna turn into. I'm not gonna lie, but like, it was so good that if you have not read this book, eat it up. I honestly I can't even tell you, like, give you points or anything like that. I have to just reread it. But it says, oh, when a princess is kidnapped by an alpha, war rages between the humans and the wolves, but soon forbidden attraction starts to grow. Like, it's so good. I think the writing is it's written really well, and I read it on Kindle first, and then I bought the paperback, so that means I loved it. Yeah? Alright. Oh, this one is a series. So I did grab a few series just to show you a series I recommend. This is by Holly Renee. This is what is it called? I don't know. The first book is called The Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. It's technically a 3-book series, and then like a 4-book series, but with a I don't want to say like spin-off book, but kind of a spin-off book, because the main characters in these are in these books, but they're not the main characters of these, so it's a little bit different. But honestly, the series is so good. I can't stop, I'm so hot. The series is so good. It's also so short, so if you're looking for a quick, like a quick, fun, and entertaining fantasy read, keep in mind though, you can't judge it like the way you would, I feel like personally, you can't judge it the way you would a freaking full-blown, thick series, because this is not going to take the most world building. It's not going to have the most things in it, but I honestly love that, because sometimes I don't want to read a freaking bajillion page book just to get the same effect, and so I love these. Honestly, they're less than 300 pages, most of them, and they're quick, they're fun, they're entertaining. This is kind of one of those like enemies to lovers, morally gray kind of guy. It's like one of those, like, you know, what everyone's talking about, what everyone's reading right now. I can't remember if they're fae though or vampires. They might be vampires. I'm not gonna lie, but I love the series, so good. I did read her newest book, which is also on Kindle Unlimited, her newest, I read the first book in her newest series, and I just don't love that book. Just didn't love that book enough to continue it, but like, I might continue it eventually, I don't know, though, but she does write really, really well. I ended up taking a break, getting a snack, cooling down, so I feel much better. My door's open now, so like the air could kind of move. Anyway, okay. Next we have another series that I've talked about here and there, but again, if you have not read the Beasts of Briar series, what are you doing? The 4th book comes out in September or November, something like that, but the series is so good. These paperbacks are they're not even paperbacks, I don't even know. These physical copies are honestly so beautiful that I would buy them anyways, but if you don't want to, because these last few are a little bit chunkier, and they're really like abnormally tall books. I'm gonna show you like a book I'm sure most people might have, is at least the Anna Huang book. They're just like abnormally tall, so it is like kind of annoying, but if you don't mind, these are so beautiful. I love this series. This is Why I Choose Romance, so if you don't know what that is, look it up. I'm not gonna go into too much detail here, but basically it's her, and she has ends up being coming to this place with 4 different princes. Yeah, sign me up. And so, I don't know, it's just enjoyable. It's kind of like a spin on, oh my gosh, I always forget what this is called. Beauty and the freaking Beast, gosh, it's kind of like a twist on that. But honestly, it's so good, and so, recommend if you want to get it on Kindle. The Serpent and the Wings of Night is also on Kindle, but like also... What? What? stunning, so why not get the hardcover, because these are beautiful. But the series is so good. I'm sure everyone and their mom knows about it. Vampires and a human were in the Hunger Games, basically. It's so good. And so we'll eat this up. We'll recommend. I want to reread this, but I have so many books that I want to reread that I'm like, oh my gosh. But luckily it's on Kindle, so if I want to just pull it up, start it, and read it here and there, then it works. So I can't tell if both Icebreaker and Wildfire are on Kindle Unlimited, because I did buy Wildfire, so it won't show me if it's on Kindle Unlimited. But I know for a fact Icebreaker by Hannah Grace is on Kindle Unlimited. And so if you are interested, I love this book, and I'm so excited for the third one to come out. But if you have not started the series, or again, you don't want the cover, you don't like people on the cover, even though I think this cover is actually super, super cute, you can get it on Kindle Unlimited. And this book is so good. I love Hannah Grace. Again, enough said. What is it called? The Jacksonville Rays series by Emily Rath is also on Kindle Unlimited. You can get all the books in the series on Kindle Unlimited, even the little novellas, and so I love it so much. If you don't know, this is hockey romance. So basically it takes place, all the books I'm gonna assume are gonna have at least one hockey player in their books, because it's the Jacksonville Rays, the hockey team. And so the first one is not everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. But this second book is definitely better. It's open door, the whole nine, but like, it's honestly so much fun, and I didn't know I loved hockey romance, but I do. I always say this though, specifically for sports romance, I tried to describe it to my friend, because she's like, I just don't know if I could get behind the sport. The thing is that, like, for me, reading sports romance, very few are like super in-depth about whatever sport you're reading. It's not like all about that sport. For me, I feel like authors use it as another way, like, you know how, you know, we all love books that are like forced proximity. So like workplace romance, you like have to you work together, so you see them at work, or like people who live together, you see them at home a lot. So those are always, I feel like, some of the best books ever, when they're constantly around each other, constantly running into each other. And so I feel like when you do a sports romance, it's kind of like that, where you have a place where basically they meet. A place where they meet, or like they hang out a lot, or a place that like will give you more of a plot and less of like just kind of running willy-nilly, just like, oh, going to play my sport and then I'll be back later. You know what I mean? And so that's what I feel like when people write sports romance. A lot of the time you'll see too, like, a lot of things are related to the sport, but it's not necessarily like this in-depth thing. It's like someone will be like the manager, and someone will be like whatever it is. It's just like a place for people to be a different setting that's not like at home, at work. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. So it's a sports romance. Don't be afraid of it. I feel like, don't, especially even if you're not into the sport or whatever. I was never a hockey girl. Never. And it's just because it's not like describing hockey to you. You know what I mean? Same goes though for Throttle by Lauren Asher, F1 romance. It's not like too super in depth. It's just, again, another way to get them to be connected, and I love that. But all of Lauren Asher all of her series are on Kindle Unlimited. If you have not read them, I love them so much. Honestly, the Dreamland Billionaires definitely was like so for me, but then I read this book and I freaking love this book so much, and so I cannot wait to continue the series. I'm waiting for the newest paperback because she's redid the covers, and so I'm waiting for the new second book to come out, and then I'll have to just wait for all of them to come out. But you can get them on Kindle Unlimited if you don't want to wait for the covers. This series too is also Love Redesign. The Lakefront Billionaire series is also on Kindle Unlimited as well, and so both books. And so I probably will read the second book on Kindle Unlimited because it's also wrapped in my books, and so I have it, but I can't find it. I'm sure everyone knows at this point, but Divine Rivals by Rebecca Yarros is on Kindle Unlimited. Both the first and second one, Ruthless Vows and Divine Rivals, are both on Kindle Unlimited. I loved Divine Rivals. I liked Ruthless Vows. I honestly, every time I look at the series, now I'm like, ugh, because I feel like the second book was definitely like a downhill, but you know, it wasn't too far downhill. It was kind of like a little hill. It's not horrible, but it wasn't my favorite in the whole wide world, and so whatever. But like, if you want to read it or you haven't read it yet, you don't want to get the paperback, because I don't know if these are coming out in, sorry, if you don't want the hardcover, because I haven't seen paperbacks of these versions at all, and usually they're out by now. Interesting. So I don't know if these are coming in. If you don't like hardcovers, This is the UK version. I think it was so pretty. Mine came a little damaged, but I didn't care that much. But this is so gorgeous, so needed that in my life. This one I feel like I've talked about as well. This is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. I thought this book was so good. Everyone and their mom is talking about it now, or if you're going to read it in fall, whatever the case is, you can read it on Kindle Unlimited. Again, you don't have to get the hardcover or wait for the paperback. You can get it on Kindle Unlimited. I love this book so much. This is the ultimate enemies to lovers. It's so good. I'm waiting patiently for that second book. I know it's gonna be so good. I don't know if it's gonna be a duology. I think it's gonna be a duology. I don't know though. I hope it's gonna be duology. That would be nice. I like duologies. I do. I like duos and trios. Honestly, anything more than that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's chaos. I was gonna start Dune. First of all, I don't know what is going on. Is Dune 7 books long? Or is that not actually all just Dune? I don't know, and so I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read it. But this is one of my favorite series of this year, of all time, honestly. And I've talked about it recently, and I haven't talked about them since I freaking finished the series. But this series is so freaking good. Leah Stone has quite a few series on Kindle Unlimited, if not all of her series, which I am going to start one of her, like, Wolf King series, I don't know, soon. But this is House of Ash and Shadow. It's the Gilded City the Gilded City series, which is only 3 books long, and I just think it's so good. It's quick, it's short, but it's so fulfilling. You feel like you read a whole, and you did read a whole series, but you feel like you read a whole like 10 book long series because you get everything you need. It's very quick paced, but it is so good. Gives you all the feels. This one is YA closed door. If you're looking for a closed door YA fantasy series that's quick, these are so good. This is like, I recommend these in like my summer recommendations because I feel like fantasy is hard to read in the summer because you kind of want something quick paced, very quiet. You don't want something that's going to take forever. In the summer, I feel like so if you're looking for a summer rec, I know summer's kind of ending, but if you're like still going to the beach, but you don't necessarily want another summer read, you want to kind of transition, but you don't want too much commitment. Yeah. Alright, then a few more. Fourth Wing all of a sudden decided to come on Kindle Unlimited. It was not always there. I don't know when it came, but my friend has been dying to read Fourth Wing, and so she was like, oh my gosh, it came on Kindle Unlimited, I'm gonna read it. And I was like, finally, good. You can see all my beautiful tabs. I love this book so much. I want to reread it again. But now I can reread it on Kindle Unlimited and it'll be fine. But I also kind of want to see what like I highlighted and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, love this book. 10 out of 10 if you don't know. I don't believe Iron Flame is on Kindle Unlimited. But I also bought that book so I can't see on Kindle Unlimited. But I'm sure you'll figure it out. Either way, if you have not read Fourth Wing, then you can read it on your Kindle. Alright, just 2 more. We have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Actually, we also have The Inheritance Guide by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. These are both, what is the word? These are both, only the first book in the series are both on Kindle Unlimited right now, so just The Naturals and just The Inheritance Games, which sucks, but if you have not started these series and you kind of just want to feel it out before committing to the whole thing, it's definitely a great way to kind of just dive in and kind of see. I did read this one on Kindle Unlimited and I freaking loved it, and I want to reread this, so honestly it'll be perfect because, you know, I don't know, sometimes just Kindle books slap, and so I want to get the whole setup that has that like cushion thing and then like the clicker. Oh my gosh, I would die. I love that, so definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend. I love her writing and been loving these books recently, so I would absolutely do it. Okay, those were all my recommendations. I know it's a lot. Some of them were just reminders, friendly reminders if you're curiouser and curiouser. But I did want to mention these 2 books I have not read yet, but I'm going to read them on Kindle Unlimited probably, and I didn't know. So The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, I believe only the first book is on Kindle Unlimited, but again, it's like, you can kind of figure it out, kind of see if you like it enough to like buy the rest or whatever the case is. So I thought that was awesome, and for a while this book was like it was like $17, $18 off for Audible, and I was like, there's no way. I didn't even pay that much for the freaking book, and so I was like, haven't been putting it off, but now that it's on Kindle, I probably will read it on Kindle, and so I'm like, yes. This book's in 3rd person, so that's always a turn off for me, but I do feel like on Kindle, maybe a little bit easier, just a little bit, I don't know, better, a little bit less overwhelming in my opinion. And then we also have 5 Broken Blades by Mike Cortland. This is also a new release, so like, shocking that it's on Kindle Unlimited, but if you have not read it, I would 10 out of 10 recommend. Wow, I would 10 out of 10 recommend reading it on Kindle Unlimited is what I'm trying to say. Even though I don't even know why I'm recommending it. I haven't even read it yet, but I'm probably going to read it on Kindle Unlimited, if not Audible, because it's not too expensive, but I know it's only in hardcover right now, so if you don't want the hardcover, then I would read it on Kindle Unlimited, but I'm so excited about this, so I don't know why I'm talking like I've read this before, but I really want to read them, and they're both on my TBR this month, so that's how I figured it out, and so, yes, I know this is a lot of books, and I probably won't be doing another Kindle video for a while. Right now, I just honestly cleared out my entire Kindle Unlimited because it was just annoying me that I kept having to, every time I would go to buy a book, I had all my 20 spots available, but I was never reading them. And so for me, like when I do my TBR and stuff, I add those books as on my Kindle because I want to read them on my Kindle, but I never like I never put books from my Kindle that I only have on Kindle on my TBR from the month. And sometimes I can, but I just never think about it, and I feel like it won't motivate me. So I also want to get like the books off my cart, you know what I mean? So it's like hard balance, but yeah, I have to figure out a better system for that for sure, because there are some books that like I would never hear of or I wouldn't buy necessarily, but I do want to read or something like that. So I don't know. Oh, that was another one. Hold on. There's one more series that I'm currently reading and I'm currently freaking obsessed with. It's called the Bitten and Bound trilogy by, what is her name? By Amy Penza. And I read all these 3 books on Kindle Unlimited, and well, I read the first 2, I'm halfway through the third one. Loving this freaking series. This is also, again, vampires. Oh my gosh, eating it up. But it's interesting because it's like the main character is half vampire, half human. You learn that from the jump. But you kind of just see, again, it's kind of like one of those things where you're supposed to like not like the main character, but you love him. This is also why I choose though. So there's the king, and then there's the general. Eat it up. It's so good. And so yes, that series I didn't want to forget. Alright guys, that is all the books that we're talking about today. I know it's a ton. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what books you recommend on Kindle Unlimited. If there's none if there's any I didn't talk about and you're like, what about this one? Definitely let me know. Again, I will accept any recommendations, like don't get me wrong. And there are some other books that I have read on Kindle Unlimited that aren't necessarily like my favorites. So I was just kind of like, whatever, we don't have to talk about them. But there are so many options, and Kindle Unlimited is filled with a bajillion books, so it's definitely, like, I think it's so worth it, whether you, yeah, I think it's so worth it no matter what. So, alright guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, nerds!